what I've been asking every producer that's been on the pod is, what's your usual day like? What's your workflow? How are you getting bounces out? Start with any one of those many questions I just
Yeah, no, actually, I think one of the biggest things for me, like that I always keep updating, is my schedule, or my system. Because back in college, my answer would be stay up until 4 a.m.
Right.
Like,
you can't do that.
Whatever.
Once you hit like 25.
Not even that. Like, it's like, once you just move here,
right,
and realize I'm going to hopefully do this for the next 15, 20 years, right, I can't be up until 4 a.m. every night. And like, I know there are a producer out there who does it, and it's very impressive. No. But no, for me, I actually found it more efficient for me to. So my songwriting sessions, I'm sure yours too, normally start at 1 p.m.
Right.
And then pretty fast. It's normally done around 6, 5 to 6. And then instead of like finishing up the bounce, I just go home.
Good.
Leave it. And then I come back early the next morning. So then I do try to get in around like 10, sometimes 11. And then I start producing what I did the day before. And normally I found that cuts down the time, because then I have fresh ears. I hear, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And you just hear everything that's wrong with it.
Yeah. And
then you fix it, and then you send it off.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I tell most people, they're like, can I get a bounce right now? It's like, just please let me have a day away from this.
Yeah.
Like, my ears are dead.
Absolutely.
I was working before you guys got here. Like,
it's
I'm
awful.
tired.
Like, how quickly you lose objectivity.
Yeah.
It's
when you've been listening to the same thing all day.
Not even that. Like, for me at least, it's like if I focused on a snare or something.
Oh, yeah.
The snare just sounds so much louder than the rest. So then I turn it down way too much. And then it's like...
you come back the next day, you're like, oh, that was a horrible...
Where's the snare? I thought I had a snare yesterday. Yeah.
It's been the great thing about having a kid, whereas I've always been the guy that I've always tried to end by like 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm always down to keep going if we're like on something really great.
Yeah.
I never want to shut off that magic.
No.
And I still don't. But just having a kid and be like, yeah, guys, I gotta go have dinner.
It's great.
It's great. And like, everyone really respects it.
Yeah.
But speaking of getting that quick bounce, like, do you have a template going? Like, how are you able to work quickly to get a bounce that you feel really good about to send to the artist team and the songwriters teams?
I never felt really good about it. Like, no, it's just something I feel like I've chopped away at forever.
Right.
I used to have to need at least a full separate day to just produce it up before sending it out, which became really hard when you did 5 sessions a week.
Yeah, I don't do 5 sessions a week anymore.
No, me neither. Yeah. So the issue with that was like I would maybe get 1 bounce out of it that I sent off from doing 5 sessions a week. Yeah, and then once I started doing 2 sessions a week, I got to 2 bounces a week. So I was like, this is twice as effective.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It's I think that's a thing that producers sometimes need to hear, where it's like, songwriters can write 5 times a week, if not more, because they're in and out. They don't have to do anything else. And it's like, producers, it's like, yeah, man, like you're fighting a quality versus quantity battle.
Completely.
And if you're doing sessions 5 days a week, every week, you're not getting every bounce out.
No.
Or you're not getting every bounce out that's quality.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no fucking way. I don't know how you do that.
No, it's crazy. Yeah, no. I started and it's also like, by the quantity game, you almost have to choose, should I take part of the writing?
Right.
Or should I just be sitting and making productions?
Yeah.
So like my system for a long time was I would just fully write the song.
Right.
Like acoustic guitar almost. And maybe lay down some ideas that I would have.
Yeah.
But basically after day 1, all I would have would be like a voice memo almost.
Right.
Like I recorded the vocals, but it wouldn't be much more impressive than that. So I know then if I send this out, like no one's going to care. Like,
I will say though, there are like some of my biggest cuts, the songs where I'm more focused on the song that day, and I'll just come and just do what I call a top line version. And for our listeners, a top line version is a song that it's just vocals and maybe piano or guitar or 1 or 2 other elements, like something very, very simple. And I've had so much success like that because I think it gives people almost like a job with like, ooh, I knew this was great before it was done.
Uh-huh.
And like, they get to give their 2 cents, which I'll not always ignore, but most of the time I'll ignore, where it's like, I have a vision for it, I just haven't done it yet. Like now I'm just so much more precious with my time that I'm very, very choosy
Yeah.
about what I'm really going to go in on.
Yeah, same.
You know, I'd rather just get you like a really strong top line version that shows what the song is, the vocal sounds great,
Yeah.
and do the thing. With your workflow though, how stacked is your mix bus? Are you doing food group busing? What kind of stuff are you doing there to, again, try? I think the thing that a lot of producers are asking about when I started this is how are people working quickly? And I think that's, in my opinion, part of the success, but I'm curious what you do.
Yeah, it's templates.
Yeah.
Like it's I use Ableton, so I kind of just, there's like a search bar on the side where it just says master template, and then just. But I never use templates for all the other stuff. Right. So the only thing I use templates for is my vocal chain and the master bus, and some like delays, and I'm starting to update those too. But
it's always a process.
It's always a process, yeah. But just having the artist record vocals in, and then it sounds great back out.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, I've always been a fan of making it sound like the final project as I'm working.
Right.
So I leave my master bus on for like most of the session.
Yeah,
like,
I think a lot of people are starting to do that more often now.
And I've had to make some sacrifices because of that. Like, or not sacrifices, I think it's a good thing.
It's just a different workflow.
So everything I do is analog.
Oh, okay.
More or less. Like I don't really use VSTs that much unless I like need something very specific.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's incredible.
So it's like I have a Prophet, which is like most of the synths and stuff like that. Also like a Moog and bass guitar, whatever. So almost everything I do is analog now, simply because I don't want to deal with latency. It just
sounds better, and it makes, when you have good sounds going in, it makes your job easier.
So much easier. Yeah, no, I used to spend forever trying to make a Prophet VST sound like a Prophet. Like
it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you.
It sounds cool, but it's like it's
not the same.
It's not the same.
It doesn't have those like rich low mids that a Prophet has.
Yeah. So literally almost, I would say 95% of all my productions are just analog.
Is it just going straight into like an Apollo or something? Or are you running it through a gear?
No, not yet. But I'm planning on doing that this year. I'm gonna buy some reverb.